Hi, I'm Gayla. After 20 years of climbing the corporate ladder, I took the leap and started my own business to pursue my dream of creating a work-from-anywhere lifestyle. Having the freedom to work from practically anywhere is such a cool feeling. You're in the right place if you're looking for ideas and inspiration to start and grow your own online business. Every week in this podcast, you'll receive practical ideas, hints, tips, and tricks to help you grow your online business where you can leverage your time and you can accomplish more. You too can experience wonderful adventure and freedom as you live life on your own terms. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Gayla Scrivener Show. I'm so glad you're here. I wanted to talk a little bit about this week personal branding. Now, you may already know all about personal branding and the importance of it, but then again, you may not know everything about it or may be leery of starting your own personal brand or even knowing, personal brand, what is that? You see, I was reluctant for the longest time to even come out from behind the scenes of my business name of Scrivener Solutions and create and build my own personal brand because I like being behind the scenes. That's what I've done all along, is be the behind the scenes person. For 20 years working in medical offices, all my positions were to support the physicians in some way and support the healthcare facility in some way. And then jumping out of the corporate world, I created a company who works behind the scenes to help with content marketing. I like being behind the scenes, and some of my team likes to be behind the scenes. And in order to market our business or to bring in business, and I know this to be true, it's we like to do business with people and not just an entity. I know when I start to meet people or if I need a service done, or even if somebody is inquiring, it's like, hey, Gayla, is your company hiring, or can you help this person that wants to work from anywhere? It's like, yeah, but I want to get to know them because I want to know who I'm working with. I want to get to know them before I know who I can refer them to and things like that. But I wanted to get into just talking about personal branding and what it is. I believe that now more than ever, you need a personal brand. If you want to stand out from the competition, attract new clients, and build a thriving business, it's important to create a powerful, thriving personal brand. It becomes, since personal brand is personal, it's an extension of you. It's where you can show your personality. If you're an entrepreneur, which chances are if you're listening to this, you are or you want to be, and you want to leave your day job or you want to pivot in some way, it's crucial. It's critical to devote at least some time each and every week to strengthen your brand. As you will understand later, your personal brand is one of your biggest assets. Even if you're like me and like to be behind the scenes and not draw a lot of attention to yourself, it feels kind of weird to start your own personal brand and to kind of stick your neck out there a little bit to share. It just feels weird and unnatural. But getting to know other individuals and opening the door to allow other people to get to know you will just open up your world tremendously. Your personal brand can take your business to places you never thought possible, but you have to know how to build one. Unfortunately, most business owners don't know how to build their own personal brand. They feel fuzzy, on exactly what steps to take and what's involved in creating a brand around themselves. I know that I delayed for years. I have been on my own out of the corporate world for like 8 years. And it wasn't until 2 years ago that I launched GaylaScrivener.com. It might have been 3 years ago, but needless to say, it was at least 5 years after I started my business of Scrivener Solutions before I felt brave enough to actually pursue and work with my personal brand. Because I felt fuzzy. Of course I did. But when I launched it, that gave me the opportunity to explore and to gain more clarity. And let me tell you something. Lately, I have had a big smack of clarity in my business and my personal life on my direction, and I just have a source of just renewed vigor, and I love it. And I know that that's not always the case. We have some ebb and flow always in life. All of us do. And to be able to all of a sudden have this sense of clarity and direction, it wouldn't have happened if I just had always done what I had always done. Hide behind a business and try a business name and not stick my neck out and really see the difference of what services I can provide through my company, Scrivener Solutions, and through my personal brand, which it's different services, but similar through GaylaScrivener.com. Now, I want you to be clear that a personal brand is so much more than a flashy logo and a color palette. No, it's not just that. A personal brand goes way far beyond having a nice looking business card. A personal brand is not just about having a website with your name on it, although that's certainly part of it. It all intermingles. A personal brand is much bigger and all-encompassing. It's about who you are and what you do and what you stand for and what your beliefs. Your personal brand is how you present yourself both online and offline to your ideal audience. Your personal brand is the image that you put forth. It's what you stand for, your values, what you're all about, the core of who you are as a person. Your personal brand is your secret sauce, the thing that sets you apart from everyone else out there. It's what makes you unique. But you see, if you're like me, you're kind of scared to stick your neck out, to shine a light on yourself, to create that personal brand. And quite frankly, fuzzy on what to say and not to sound so boastful and, just how do you put it all together and navigate the waters? And as I said, your personal brand includes your values, your unique skills, your experiences, your stories, your personality, and your image. And each of these must be present in an authentic, honest way to your audience. Just be yourself. And when you're yourself, you attract like-minded folks whom you can help and serve. And they'll like what you're doing, no matter what you're doing. Your personal brand centers around you as an individual. And that's kind of hard to swallow sometimes when you're brought up just not to be so boastful. But you can do that you cannot be boastful and build your personal brand. There's little ways of doing that and feeling good about it. It may feel weird that you're marketing yourself and marketing your business, but marketing, all that is, as Mike Kim says, marketing is opening a relationship, not closing a sale. I think I got that backwards. Well, Your personal brand centers around you as an individual. It's about what you bring to the table, the value that you offer. It involves specific ways that you solve people's problems and their biggest frustrations. All business is solving problems. That's what all businesses do. You may be tempted to think that, only big companies are brands, but that's not true. Not true at all. Thanks to the internet and the power of social media, every person is their own personal brand. Everyone can constantly put themselves out there in front of the audiences. I mean, my goodness, we have so many ways of doing that. So many economical ways, free ways. And everyone can add value to their audience. Everyone can communicate their message loud and clear. Now, sometimes it may seem noisy out there, but you have the opportunity. We have the tools to create our own newspaper in the form of a blog, our own radio station in the form of a podcast, and our own TV station in the form of YouTube. That is amazing. We live in amazing times to where we can reach people and build our businesses the way that we want to. We all have the tools to build powerful personal brands. In fact, you may say that every person is now a brand. I mean, as soon as we're out on social media, we are there. The question is whether you are actively taking control of your own brand. People are already talking about us out in the internet world. We might as well be a part of the conversation so that we can shape our own brand. I believe that whether you want to or not, you're going to have a personal brand. People are going to meet you in some way. If they meet you in person, they're going to seek you out online. And if you're not there and present, or if you're relying on what other people say about you, if they do an internet search, you're really missing out. You have the power to shape the brand and help people build a relationship with you, whether they're in your community and close by or far away or even clear across the world. Everything you share online, every email you send to your audience, every blog post that you write, every video that you record and publish, every podcast and audio file that you publish, every live event you host, they are all a part of your brand. They all shape the way people think about you and then the image that you put forth. The question is whether you want your brand to develop on its own with no guidance by you at all. It's what other people are saying about you. Or if you want to actively be in control of the whole process. To state the obvious, it's always better when you're in control of the process. That's what I think anyway. So instead of sitting on the sidelines and allowing other people to form the image of you, get active and build your platform. And you may wonder, what is this platform? Well, it's a collective messaging that's done over time, done on a consistent basis, and it's all intermingled. But it starts with your core piece of content. Think of your core piece of content. Mostly think of, are you going to create a blog? That is the written word. Is writing easier for you? Can you get that done? Can you express yourself in the written form? If not, then is it that you can speak your mind, so to speak? You can speak your mind, and maybe podcasting is the way for you. You can create your own radio station through podcasting and broadcast your message through audio files. Or maybe you're pretty comfortable in front of the camera and you can just speak your mind there. Or maybe you have part of your personal brand that you're really visual on things, and video would really enhance your message, then you can create your own TV station through YouTube. All of these methods are low cost. They have a low entry point. Now, it takes time. It takes a little bit of planning, but you think of your core piece of content. And what is your message? Who are you wanting to talk to? Usually, there are similarities in philosophies, in background, in interests, something that ties your followers to you, because you expose your personality a little bit. You expose your values. And it's kind of like, hey, birds of a feather, flock together. Building your personal brand connects you personally with potential customers and clients, which builds your business. You can help people that you have similar interests to because you have this similar background and you have this connection. When you simplify and think of your one piece of core content, your blog, a podcast, or video, focus on that message. And when you decide, hey, I'm going to be a podcaster, that's your thing. Put everything else out of mind, and that is your first and foremost thing. And you focus on that message. Then you decide, what's your frequency? For that core piece of content, I have come across many clients that are trying to get started with their content marketing and personal branding, and they're kind of nervous about committing to this core piece of content. But that's everything. Once you get that down and once you get that habit going, whether you decide that you're going to be a blogger, a podcaster, or a YouTuber, make that decision. Then make the decision on the frequency. Weekly, in my opinion, is the way to go. It's a great frequency. It does, if you're not used to it, seem like a lot. So if you're wanting to ease into it, to get a habit and get the process down, the minimum I would do is once a month. Some people say, oh, I'm going to do maybe once a quarter. I don't want to bother my followers that much. Maybe once a quarter or every 6 months. No. I'm thinking and I believe that once a month is a little less, almost too infrequent. But if you commit to a minimum of once a month producing your core piece of content, that's only 12 a year. And you focus on that message, and all other content that is needed, that goes out, that you see other online influencers, online personal, the other personal brands do. They're always in email and social media, and they seem to be everywhere. Well, they have their core piece of content, and then there are systems that they put in place to break that core piece of content, that message, down to micro content. And what I mean by micro content, I thought, I can't remember where I heard it first, but it just makes total sense. Your social media is micro content. It's little snippets. Your emails will, weave in some of your message because you're in a line of thought. And when you break down and do a minimum of once a month of your core content, your blog, your video, or your podcast, not all three, just one, focus on one, then you can take snippets and repurpose and I love repurposing content. That is where we shine at Scrivener Solutions, is we help our clients with their core message and staying consistent and taking their message and just getting it everywhere, taking it down, dissecting it, creating systems to make sure that social posts are done. There's social shares in many different ways. There's emails, there's events that correspond with your messaging. It just helps you gain followers. But more importantly, if you're not used to doing a core piece of content and you're fuzzy in this personal branding arena, when you decide what's your frequency, once a month, every other week, or every week, then you will gain clarity through doing. You'll suck it up and say, okay, I've got a deadline for myself and I've got to publish. And that's the first step. And when you are publishing and meeting your deadlines each and every time, whether it's once a month, every other week, or once a week, then you gain confidence. You may feel like your first messages really aren't clear. That's okay. I know that I listen to some of my first episodes, and sometimes I listen to episodes of a few weeks ago, and I'm not very, I was like, I could have done that better. But you press on, and people will get to know you and know that you're a person just like them. And when they get to know you, then they get you. And they believe that you can help them, which you can, because you have a ton of talent and a lot to offer. It's very exciting when you step out from behind a business name and create your personal brand, create the name for yourself. Then it opens up so many opportunities, and it makes your relationships so much fuller and so much more meaningful. I know that people seem to know me before I know them, and it feels weird, but it's also quite humbling. And that's what I want for you. And I'm just going to say this. I work with some coaches, some speakers, and they're very similar in my apprehension of wanting to be out in the forefront. They are so great at what they do. Their message is so wonderful. They help people in magnificent ways, but yet they're afraid of putting their neck out there and making that personal brand. They create some coaching type company name, just like I did with Scrivener Solutions. It's an agency type name, and hide behind that. But where the magic happens is when you break free of that and start your personal brand. Start to stick your neck out there and say your message. These coaches and speakers that I work with that are apprehensive in creating consistent content, creating their core piece of content, that blog or that podcast or that video, because they're afraid of, everything's not put together. They're fuzzy on what they should say. But if you just get started, it will come. It will evolve. And more importantly than ever, especially with coaching and consulting, people want to get to know you because they want to know that you can help them, not XYZ company. If I've drilled that in enough, stick with me, because in the next few weeks, we've got some exciting things planned, and I want to reveal what's up with Scrivener Solutions and my personal brand. I am so happy that you tuned in today, and if you would be most kind, if you're not already a subscriber, I would love it if you would subscribe, because, you never know. I may throw in a bonus episode one of these days, but you won't even be notified, via email or anything like that if you don't subscribe. So that would be a great thing. And if you would be most kind, I would love it if you'd give a nice review. I would be so honored. I just can't contain myself. I can't wait till next week. On a personal note, right now, my husband and I are off and traveling. We haven't traveled much through this pandemic. And oh my goodness, this work from anywhere girl has been stir crazy. So, think we figured out, or we feel that it's safe enough, it's okay. We're just taking a road trip. We're taking a road trip to see my daughter and her husband. I am super excited to be on the road as we speak, to get to Colorado and see the mountains. But guys, until next time, I hope you have a fantastic week.